Batman the Animated Series. Not only considered one of the best superhero shows for kids, but just one of the best superhero shows of all time. I actually rewatched this whole show recently, including the movies, and it holds up way better than it has any right to. My goal was to actually go through the entire DC animated universe, but I just couldn't with Batman Beyond, especially when they just turned it into a high school show in season 2, but that's besides the point. With Batman Animated, so much of the conversation is always about Batman the Animated Series versus the new Batman adventures. Yes, they're all packaged together when on DVD or whatever, but there's still a definite distinction between the first 85 episodes and the last 24. A lot of people kind of dismissed these later episodes, which surprised me when I went back, since some of the best episodes are in the last 24 episodes. Joker's Millions, Over the Edge, and of course Mad Love are all top tier episodes and among my personal favorites. The only thing the later episodes lack are those awesome title cards. What I found is that the early episodes of the original run were very inconsistent, and it took them about 20 episodes or so for them to really hit their stride. But of course, the big debate is the original designs versus the redesigns, specifically with the characters. And for simplification, I'm going to refer to Batman the Animated Series, aka the first 85 episodes, as the old episodes, and the new Batman Adventures, aka the last 24 episodes, as the new episodes. Got it? Got it? Good. The new designs, just like the new episodes, always seem to get a lot of flack online, and it's probably due to one character, but we'll get to that. So we'll be comparing the old versus the new designs for all the major-ish characters in the show, and to make it interesting, I'll keep score too. Do the new designs deserve all the hate they get online, or is new just simply better? Let's get started with the character that brought us all here in the first place, Batman. This might sound sacrilegious, but I prefer the new Batman design. It's sharper and more streamlined like basically all the new designs, but the new adventure designs feels more like Bruce Timm and team really made this character their own and not just using the Tim Burton Batman movie as a springboard, especially with the new logo on Batman's chest. And if you want to talk about sharpness, just look at those scallops on the forearms. Chef's kiss. I do miss the blue accents, instead they go for gray, but I do appreciate the added detail in the utility belt. Also, the new design's smaller eyes are a much better design choice to keep the character looking menacing. I do love the old design too, but when Batman had to look surprised, it always looked a bit goofy to me. Score 1 for the new Bruce Wayne. What do you prefer? Those boxy looking suits like your Michael Jordan in The Last Dance, or a more fitted look? I always thought it was a strange decision to have Bruce Wayne wear a brown suit. Brown? Seriously? It's Batman. It should be all black all the time. Maybe you can argue that the redesign makes Batman look a little too cool since Bruce Wayne is playing the part of a square that's never had to work hard to be cool since he's been swimming in cash all of his life, but hey, I'll take the new design again. That's 2-0 for the new. The Batmobile. Now here's one that'll help to even the score. I'll be honest when I say that this is one of the biggest downgrades of the new designs, but not the biggest downgrade. I did grow up with the toy of the redesigned Batmobile, so I do have a bit of nostalgia for it, but the original is just so damn cool. It might be my favorite Batmobile design ever. It stretches on like a limo. I love the grills, and the cockpit and windshield always look so great to me. Art Deco never looked so good. The old is on the board, trailing 2-1. Alfred. Alfred is tough. I like that they simplified his tux, but the beady little eyes and the thinner mustache and eyebrows just ain't doing it for me. I don't know, the redesign just doesn't look like Alfred to me that much either. He's just some guy. Am I alone? Either way, the OGs are storming back. We're tied 2-2. Robin. Batman's trusty sidekick. I'm just gonna throw all the Robins in here. We only see him in one episode, Old Wounds, but the updated Dick Grayson Robin design is incredible. The cape draped over the shoulder, the bigger mask, the sharper lines just make him look less like a Boy Scout and more of a worthy partner to the Caped Crusader. The original design isn't bad, it's good in fact, it just leaves me wanting a bit more. I really like the Tim Drake Robin look as well. Removing the green really makes it more friendly to the eye. The shorter cape, the bigger mask helps distinguish himself and emphasizes his youth. I might as well add that the Nightwing design is just incredible. The blue bird on all black is just the coolest thing ever. New very much overruled old in this case. New Adventures takes the lead 3-2. Dick Grayson. Very different design philosophies here because of the context of the character. In the old, Dick Grayson is a college student and still very much under Batman's wing. But in the new, Dick is a grown man and has somewhat broken away from Batman and is cementing his own path. It's a little tough to compare the two, to be honest. It is interesting to note, however, that the redesign starts to bear more of a resemblance to Bruce Wayne. Was this a conscious choice to reflect the path that Dick is heading down, destined to become the next Batman? I like to think so, and because of that, new wins here. If you don't like it, I don't know, let me know in the comments, I guess. New Adventures is up 4-2. Batgirl. Talk about an upgrade. The redesign is primarily based on the Silver Age design for the character, but with the late 20th century polish, simplifying the utility belt and the boots. Love the blue accents and the yellow undercape. 10 out of 10 design. The old one is okay, but I never truly loved gray as Batgirl's color, and I don't like the yellow bat on the gray suit. It doesn't really pop. The blue on her cowl is a little weird with that turkey neck. I know it's supposed to look homemade, but come on. An old Batgirl's head always looked like it was squished to me. New wins again. They're up big, 5-2. Barbara Gordon. Old Barbara's face looks weird. Did I mention her head looks weird? I like the new design's bigger, almost cat-like eyes and the bigger smile. I just like the new outfit better too. Apparently, Bruce thought she looked better too. New extends its lead, 6-2. Commissioner Gordon. Oh boy, what did they do here? The old Commissioner design is pretty perfect. Strong, but still clearly has tons of experience. The undone collar, messy hair, and tie show that he's overworked. But the new one looks a bit too cleaned up, and I always thought he was a little frail looking. I know some time has passed, but those years were not kind to him. Old wins. They cut the lead down 6-3. Harvey Bullock. Here's another downgrade. Old Bullock's face has a ton of character. You can just see the years of having to deal with the scum on the street all over his face. Overworked, cynical, but still won't rest until there's justice. He doesn't care about his appearance. It's just like he threw those ill-fitting clothes on without a second thought. New Bullock, meanwhile, just looks like he's in a bad mood. His face is a little too plain for my liking. I can excuse not having the baggy clothes because this is clearly an aesthetic choice, but the believability of the character still took a hit. Old wins again. They trail only 6-4 now. Renee Montoya. Our first character here that was created for the animated series. Montoya is a patrol officer in the original run, but got promoted to a detective for the new episodes. The old design is fine, but she's just a police officer. The new design really gives her her own flair, and it's the little things that really make a difference. Making her eyes a bit bigger, defining her nose, adding a chin dimple, and that outfit is pretty cool. It almost looks like she could be a secret agent or something. You can just tell that they had a lot of fun doing this redesign. New gets a point back. They're up 7-4. The Mayor. What a transformation, right? His color palette is slightly changed. I had to remove a few buttons here and there, make him look a bit older. I don't know, give me the old. Why, you may ask? Because I like the thicker glasses frames more, that's why. New's lead is cut down again. They lead 7-5. Lucius Fox, the man who basically runs Wayne Enterprises. Which would you rather have run your business? The old one is a bit too fish-faced for me. Now the new one, that's a face you could set your watch to. New is back up by 3, 8-5. Catwoman. She went through quite a radical transformation, and not just design-wise. Originally, she was portrayed as an animal activist anti-hero, but in the new adventures, specifically the episode You Scratch My Back, Batman is all of a sudden telling Nightwing that she's bad news. What are we missing here? You guys work together. Anyways, the old design is classic, dare I say the more iconic one, but I just love the redesign. The all-black suit with the white eyes, the white face, and the black lips, that's Catwoman. It's dark, and it makes you question her motives. This actually might be my favorite redesign. Again, the old isn't bad, but I don't think Catwoman should be in gray, and I don't like her bead belt. Another point for the new, they stretch their lead 9-5. Selina Kyle. Talk about a total transformation. Like their Catwoman design counterparts, they do reflect the type of character that the creators were going for, but again, the new just screams Catwoman more to me. I can't explain why, but the short hairstyle just works better for me too. Another point for the new, it's 10-5 now. Can olds come back? Penguin, another big shift. The old design is clearly leaning into making Penguin more deformed and animalistic. But how can you even compare that to the brilliant Danny DeVito version of the character from Batman Returns? Is that unfair? Maybe, but I don't care. The new Penguin is definitely more in line with the original intent of the character, a socialite who has some dirty dealings. The old one is just kind of a freak who apparently gets involved in adventures in a kid's basement trying to get Batman. God, what a terrible episode. New wins again. They're up 11-5. The Riddler. Ah! What happened here? I get that they were inspired by the Frank Gorshin version of the character from the 60s series, but the light green bodysuit is just unsettling and too weird for me. Though I do like the question mark shaped cane. Also, what's going on with those purple slippers? They did actually briefly show an updated version of the suit for the Riddler, but it still pales in comparison in my opinion. The old design is just so damn cool. You believe that this guy could be a psychopath leaving behind clues, like a demented version of Rich Uncle Pennybags. The purple accents the green here so well, and it's just a very appealing design. And that chin, that's a Riddler chin if I've ever seen one. Old is back, they trail 11-6. Two-Face. Not much was really changed here. You don't mess too much with perfection, I suppose. The half black, half white suit is just too cool. Besides the streamlining and simplifying the design to match the new aesthetic, the only notable changes are to his face, or faces appropriately enough. Here, I gotta go with the old design since he looks more monstrous with that big yellow eye and those big red lips. This also might be the most iconic Two-Face design. Do you think that's right? Let me know in the comments. Either way, old wins again. They're catching up. It's 11-7. Mr. Freeze. A character that was completely reinvented for the animated series and gave him his now iconic origin story. I do like the retro future look of the old design with the goggles, but the redesign just took things to the next level. It's like a mix of an astronaut and Darth Vader. You can see his menacing little red eyes, they make his cheekbones more prominent, and removed his eyebrows, really making him look like a guy who you don't want to mess with. Also, the alternate look with his head on the spider legs is just a great concept. New gets the point back, they lead 12-7. Poison Ivy. Another pretty significant design overhaul. The gray skin makes her look less human, which emphasizes her attachment to plants over people. They darkened her hair a bit, gave her darker lips, darkened her outfit, and removed her leggings. And they lightened her eye color a touch just to make her look a bit more menacing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this inspired how Poison Ivy looks in basically every interpretation since. Again, old is fine, but newer is clearly better. News lead is back up by 6, 13-7. Scarecrow. Here's a character that was actually redesigned during the original run. Actually, I think he might be the only character to get a redesign during the original run. I'm going to level with you. Both original designs are not great. He went from looking like a run-of-the-mill Halloween costume to an actual Scarecrow. Meh. But the redesign, holy crap! This is the stuff nightmares are made of, and perfect for the character. It doesn't exactly invoke a scarecrow, instead more of a zombie, but who cares? The noose around the neck, the flat brim hat, the trench coat with the cold skin, the walking stick are all great touches. It's such a unique take on the character. And in the episode Over the Edge, one of my favorites, you can see him almost float up the stairs like a spirit, which is just wicked. New does it again, they double up old 14-7. Still 10 left, can the old catch up? Clayface, my favorite Batman villain. I actually think the new aesthetic doesn't quite do the character as much justice as the old design. The old design just has a lot more of those little imperfections on his body, which adds to the fall of his character from star actor to monster. Also, I like that the old one is more of a yellow, making him seem a bit more gross. They were trying to go for more of a classic B-movie monster design with the new one, which is fine, but I just like the older better. Old is crawling back, they're down 14-8. Ventriloquist and Scarface. Here's a character that really got a chance to shine, and always has us asking, who's really in charge? Both these designs are pretty good, but the Ventriloquist looks a bit too schlubby for me in the redesign. I'm not crazy about the 4 hairs sticking out of the side of his head, and I'm not big on the exaggerated brow on the new Scarface. The old one, meanwhile, has the glasses that hide behind his eyes, adding another layer between the audience and the character, making his thoughts just that much more mysterious. I love the tux, and I love the original Scarface design with the cigar and the blue suit. Another point for the old. They're still down 14-9 though. Mad Hatter. An underrated character that got a chance to shine in animation. What's creepier than mind control for the purpose of lust? Ugh. He's creepy looking in the old design, but they creep him up a lot, and he's just very ghoulish in the new version. I do like changing his suit color from blue to green, and the new suit and tie design in general. Making him smaller and shorter also just works as well. New is back on the board, now up 15-9. Bane. Bane comes around late in the original run, but he still found a way. I think they went a little too far with the new design. The spikes on the neck and that weird mask with the mouth there just aren't doing it for me. I do like the black suit with the belt and the red buckle, and even his wrist controller, but that's about it. The old one is classic Bane with the luchador mask, and I even like those little hairs sticking out on his arms and shoulders. Old is coming back, they trail 15-10. Killer Croc. Let me preface this by saying I'm not big on either of these designs. Why is he gray in the original? If they just put his head from the old design on the body of the new design, I could really get behind one of these, but alas. I always thought he looked a bit too schlubby in the original. Meanwhile, he looks like a machine in the new one. His ripped abs, big chest, and claws. And those reptilian eyes really make him look like an animal. Reluctantly, New wins. They're up 16-10. Baby Doll. Another creation for the series. Mary Louise Doll. Such a tortured soul. The original looked like it belonged more on Tiny Toon Adventures or Animaniacs than Batman with those big goofy eyes, but the new one I can believe is gonna murder people. Those half moon eyes, that small but persistent grin, I like it. New wins again, up 17-10. Talia al Ghul, the daughter of Batman's wannabe mentor, Ra's al Ghul. That's right, it's Ra's al Ghul, not Ra's al Ghul. Take that, Christopher Nolan. The redesign is a bit too simple for me and is still looking a little Shigo-ish from Kim Possible. The original had its own spunk with the purple suit, those gray gloves and boots. I also like the detail in the utility belt with the holster. I don't know why she's showing more skin in the old one, maybe to entice Bruce, but it's overall a better design. Old is coming back, 1711 they trail. Rupert Thorne. Those years were not kind to Mr. Thorne. I do like the green ring from the redesign, but everything else from the old is just better. The vest with the gold buttons, the pocket handkerchief, and even some of the gold buttons on the jacket sleeves. Very sharp. The new one just looks like he's getting ready for better something. Another win for the old, 1712. Harley Quinn, the most popular and iconic character to come out of the series. They really didn't change too much here aside from changing her head and face to match the new aesthetic. They took a red diamond from her right sleeve and put on her left leg, but that's really it. Personal preference, but I like the new more. New is back up by 6, 18-12. Joker. The original series design for Joker is one of his most iconic looks, so how did they get to this?
Look how they massacred my boy.
I can see what they were going for, but getting rid of Joker's iconic red lips was not a good choice. I'm not the first person to make this joke, but he really does look like Mickey Mouse or something. Everything else is fine, but the lips, man. They would eventually get it right a few years later with Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, but for now, swing and a miss. It's a shame too. They simplified his color palette, which definitely works, and gave him those tiny dead eyes, so you never quite know what's going on in his head. But the old one does have some nice touches that weren't brought back, like the yellow eyes and teeth. Plus, I like the orange shirt with the blue tie. Having a more colorful Joker just makes him more menacing somehow. Old wins, but they can only cut the lead to 5. New wins, 18-13. This was actually a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I knew I liked a lot of the original designs, but I guess this just shows the strengths in both design philosophies. Sure, both design philosophies have their weaknesses too, but to make great art, you gotta take some risks. And Batman the Animated Series is truly great art. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you really liked it. It means so much to me. Please let me know if you want to see more Batman animated content. As I said before, I saw the whole 90s animated series, so I got a lot to say about it. Either way, plenty of great stuff is on the way. Take care.